Hello, Year 6, and welcome to your next lesson, which is going to be your art lesson. And this half term, we're starting a new topic. And for today's lesson, as you can see, we're going to, what is to know that Banksy is a graffiti artist based in Britain. So what do you think our topic is going to be? Banksy, maybe. We're going to explore the world and hopefully we will reflect that graffiti can be an art form. Okay, so I'm going to just share my screen again, and I'm not quite sure how to do this without coming back to me, I'm afraid. So let's look at some information about this person that I keep saying, Banksy. Now, this isn't Banksy. This is one of Banksy's paintings, pictures, graffiti. I'm going to call it artwork. So who is Banksy? Well, the simple answer is no one really knows. He's an anonymous graffiti artist, so we don't know who he is. He keeps his identity hidden. He doesn't do any interviews. He won't release his real name, and he will not allow photos or copies of his artwork to be made or sold. So there's very little known about him. But we know that he is a graffiti artist. But what is graffiti? Well, graffiti, you've all seen it. Potentially you might have done it yourself. In my younger days, I'm sure I did somewhere on my desk, maybe, at school when I was very young. But it's writings, drawings, pictures that are scribbled, scratched, sprayed onto a surface in a public place, but it's secret. Okay? No one sees you do it. So generally considered vandalism, and vandalism is a crime and vandals can be punished. So vandalism is the deliberate destruction of property or belongings. Okay, so is it graffiti? Is it vandalism? Is it art? Well, it is graffiti. Is it art or vandalism? Not sure. So where did Banksy start off? Well, he came from Bristol, which you can see in the red dot, and Derby is in the Midlands. Okay, and he was part of the British Bristol underground art scene, and he was inspired by a graffiti artist called 3D. So underground art scene, people don't really know much about them. It appears we're not really too sure much about it. So he first started working as a freelance graffiti artist by himself, for himself, in 1990 till about 1994. And then he met up with a photographer who began selling his art. And this then photographer became his agent, which I would think, well, you must know who he is then. Or was it all done by letters, emails, phones, online, and didn't actually meet in person? Banksy liked to voice his opinions about what was happening in the world. So he was therefore known as a political activist. And the graffiti that he paints shows what he thinks. And there are common themes such as greed, war, despair, and you can see some of the other choices on screen. So, and graffiti artists have a tag, a bit like a signature to their work. And I'm sure a lot of you know about tags with various other online platforms that you are involved in. Okay, a little bit like a signature of his work. Now, we could just spray on the wall. We could just create a picture on the wall from an image. He felt that took quite a long time. And sometimes he used to get often potentially be caught because he couldn't finish a piece off. So he then used stencils to create his artwork, cut them out, the shapes, and then he used the spray paint to stencil the graffiti. And some graffiti artists think that that's cheating and they prefer to paint freehand. There's no right or wrong rule. This was his first one in 1997 in Bristol, Mild West. He has a common theme of rats. And I think when you look at them, they've got quite a distinctive features. So we've got one rat holding a camera here. What do you think, what message do you think Banksy is sending through this picture? Maybe have a pause, have a chat with other people around you to see what they think. So what have you come up with? So what do you think? Are you right? Are you wrong? Your opinion, nobody knows. Paints on walls all over the country. Doesn't really mind matter. I think that this building could well be demolished the next day. He's still done his painting on the side of it. What's Banksy saying in this picture between the elderly and the young people in society? Oh, excuse me. Again, maybe have a conversation with someone at home. What do you think? What are we trying to portray with this picture? He takes famous sayings and turns them into a amusing piece of art. But what's he actually saying about how much shopping people do? Again, have another conversation with someone at home. What do you think? Some paintings would have been hard to get to. So if we look where Skeleton Row was painted, this is the close-up of it. But if you look very closely, it is here on the side of the boat. How would he have got there? Surely somebody might have seen him. If it's at night time, how's he worked? Who knows? You might come across this one. This is quite one of his famous ones about a chambermaid. Chambermaid's job is to sweep up, tidy up. But why is she putting it underneath the curtain, underneath the carpet? What do you think this is saying about society and wealthy people? Again, have a conversation with someone at home. So, some people do not think Banksy's graffiti is art. They do think it's vandalism and shouldn't be encouraged or praised. After all, we're painting on a public building that we're not allowed to and we don't have permission. Because some people might think, oh, other people will copy him and soon the whole town will have lots of things, lots of graffiti, lots of images that they don't really want. Other people say he's allowed to voice his opinion. It's not, they're not nice or they've all got a message and he's allowed to do that. He's voicing his opinion through art. What do you think? Pause the video, have a little think. So, come back to me to make sure I get the right screen. Go for that one, I think. Yes. Hopefully you've had a little think. And this is the question. Oh, not quite on that one. Wouldn't be that one. Let's go for this one at the top from the beginning. Hopefully that will work. Okay, so hopefully you've had a discussion with your adult at home, with anybody at home. Graffiti. Is it art or is it vandalism? What's your opinion? So some councils that run the town where you live have allocated certain places for graffiti, like skate parks and abandoned buildings. This one here is in the South Bank, which is in London. Looks like an underground pass. Lots of different, I want to say, styles of graffiti. Lots of different tags. So I imagine this one, this area, has got lots of different people coming and overlapping, going on top of different people's artwork. It's been allowed. It might just be one person's artwork. Again, this looks like an underpass. Looks like we've got maybe somebody else's on this left-hand side, a big one in the middle, and we've got some tags on the right-hand side. Maybe it's allowed. It's an underpass. That's where they're saying you can come and do your art. Can have a positive message. I love you. Lots of I love yous written on various surfaces that are all public. Can be beautiful. Amazing piece of artwork here. This is obviously inside a building, I would think, look, judging from the lights on the top left. Amazing piece of work. Can be interesting. Now, we've seen this one before, just to make people think. What did you come up with when you had a discussion about that? Makes you think, what do they mean? I am your father. Doesn't understand it. Is there a link to family? Is there a link to a film? Who knows? It's making us think. So they can have a message. Here's a few that give out a message. This one, usually we do see people begging for money on the streets. This one, keep your coins, I want change. So this is a picture of someone that doesn't want the money, but wants change. Change of what? Change of what? What does he want to have changed? And another one, when you first look at it, you think, oh, it's a shadow. Ah, but it's not. It looks like a shadow, but it's got war. So does it mean stop war? Again, it just makes us think. So they can be political, and as we've learnt, we know that's what influenced Banksy's work. So these are some, again, some more of his political messages. Just for you to have a little look at, and I'm sure you'll find your own messages when you do your research. But they all have a political theme. Okay, so let's come back to me and let's go back to our other screen, which hopefully is this one. So we've looked at a little bit about Banksy, and you can rewind and go back. You can look online for extra information about Banksy and his pictures and the sorts of work that he does. There is lots of information and lots of pictures online. You might find one that you like, which keep that in mind for later on. You might find 2 or 3 because there are lots of different styles. We've had a little think about graffiti and whether it is art or whether it is vandalism. Again, your choice. What do you think? Depends where it is, depends what it's of. Not quite sure whether there's a right or wrong answer. What do you think? Hopefully you've had lots of discussions with your adults and with your maybe brothers and sisters, people at home. What do you think? So for your work today, we're going to do some research. As I said, you can rewind the video so that you can see those screens again. I've also got this fact file, and you can pause this page because you can get some information off here if you can't find anything else online. So this is your just time to get a little bit of research done. Now, I've put also on the screen here an example of how you could set your research out. It's up to you. You can do it in any way you want. I'll just show you another camera because I did have, is it on this one? Hopefully this will come up. So this is what I had a little go at. So I've got my date and my title, and I've got that it's about Banksy, and I've got my fact file. I've done a little bit of information about him. Then I started to think about graffiti. Is it art or vandalism? Maybe you can, tell me what you think, whether you think it is art or vandalism. Oh, excuse me. What does graffiti mean? Okay. You can put a little explanation about what graffiti is. And if you can't remember or you're not sure, you can go back in the video. And I did give an explanation of what graffiti was. You can also, I've also made a little note about his themes, that there's quite a lot of rats and there's messages and there's other themes as well that you can add in there. And favourite artwork. There might be a few pieces that you, if you're lucky enough to have a printer, you could print out, or you could explain what the picture is about. Some of them do have titles, so you could name those artwork. So that is just a suggestion of how you could lay out your fact file. Go back to this share, but it's really up to you. You can do it how you like, because I want you to find out whatever you want to know. Maybe make sure we include a little bit about a tag. What is a tag? Because that's quite important in graffiti, or graffiti art, I should say. So pause the video. You can use whatever information you like, and I look forward to seeing them next time. Okay. Hopefully you've got lots of information and you've created your fact file. Upload those pictures so we can all see what information you found out, and that will help you for next week's lesson when we're going to look at one of his stars. We're going to go through the weeks and look at different styles, different versions of his styles, and we're going to have a go at recreating them. Okay, bye for now.